Cairo is one of the world's great megacities. For historical sightseeing, there are few cities that can compete with Cairo, but Egypt's capital offers many more things to do than just museums and mosques. As beautiful and as rich in historic finery as it is confounding and an assault on your senses to first-time visitors, Cairo tends to be a city that travelers love and hate in equal measures. Its sheer noise, pollution and traffic can make a first visit here difficult to navigate, but Egypt's capital has so much to offer travelers that look beyond its problems. Full of vigor, Cairo is the best place to visit in the country to get a feel for modern Egyptian street life. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Cairo. And just wait till you see the number one that we're going to be showing in this video, something you would never even have thought of, so make sure you watch till the end. Oh, before we begin, you can help support our channel by becoming a member of this channel. Press the join button below. This will help us to bring you more awesome travel videos. So now, if you're ready, let's cut to the chase. At number 10, visit the Museum of Islamic Art. Cairo's Museum of Islamic Art holds one of the most important collections of Middle Eastern artistry in the world. Severe damage sustained from a car bomb attack in 2014 resulted in this museum shutting its doors to the public for years, but thankfully it has now been reopened. Ottoman tilework, Ayyubid ceramics, frescoes, delicately patterned wood inlay, coinage, carved marble tombstones and jewel-toned carpets, among other items, are all on display. Definitely spend some time perusing the illuminated Qurans and the exhibits of richly decorative ceramics, glassware and metalware. Then move on to admire the heavily ornate jewellery collection and the rooms devoted to astronomy and other sciences, where you'll find highly detailed astrolabes and other equipment. A visit here is a journey through the breadth and wealth of Islamic heritage. The museum sits on the edge of the historic Cairo district, so it's a good place to either begin or end a visit to the neighbourhood. It's within easy walking distance once you've crossed a hideously busy main road to Bab Zuwaylah. Next up, at 9, admire Mamluk architecture in the Sultan Hassan Mosque. One of the finest examples of Mamluk architecture in the world, Sultan Hassan Mosque is a vision of Islamic artistry with an abundance of stalactite detailing and intricate arabesque features. It was built in 1356 to 1363 for the Sultan Hassan al-Nasir. The massive main doorway at the north corner is almost 26 meters high, and the minaret at the south corner is the tallest in Cairo at 81.5 meters. The main doorway leads into a domed vestibule, beyond which are a small antechamber and a corridor leading into the ornate open court centered around an ablution fountain. From here, an iron door leads into the Sultan's mausoleum, where the stalactitic pendatives from the original dome still survive. In the center of the chamber is the Sultan's simple sarcophagus. Directly facing the Sultan Hassan Mosque is the El-Rifai Mosque, built in 1912 to house the tomb of Khedive Ismail and constructed to replicate its older next-door neighbor. The ex-Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, 1919 to 1980, is also buried here. Both mosques prominently sit in Midan Salah ad-Din, directly below Cairo's Citadel. And now, at number 8, get views across the city at the Citadel. In a commanding location at the foot of the Mokattam Hills, Cairo's Citadel was built in Saladin in 1176. The original structure he laid out has long disappeared, except for the eastern outer walls, but a legacy of rulers has made their own additions here. The Mosque of Muhammad Ali is the most famous monument and the main reason for visiting. Nicknamed the Alabaster Mosque, its white stone and tall, disproportionately slender minarets are one of Cairo's great landmarks. The other big reason to come up here are the views across the city. Head to the Gohara Terrace for the best panorama in town. Just to the northeast of the Muhammad Ali Mosque is the El-Nasir Mosque, built in 1318 to 1335 by Muhammad el-Nasir. A collection of rather half-hearted museums, the Police Museum, National Military Museum and Carriage Museum, take up some of the other buildings on site and are more worthwhile viewing for the architecture of the actual buildings rather than the exhibits themselves. You can walk to the Citadel area from Bab Zuwaylah if you're feeling energetic by heading along the Kayamiya Street. The walk takes about 30 minutes. And now at 7, shop amid the maze of Khan el-Khalili. Khan el-Khalili is one of the world's great shopping experiences. This souk, or bazaar, is a labyrinthine collection of skinny alleyways established as a shopping district in 1400 CE, which still rings with the clang of metalworkers and silversmiths. The main streets have long ago given themselves over completely to the tourist trade, with plenty of cheap papyrus pictures and plastic pyramids on display, but divert off the main drag into the surrounding alleyways, and the tiny stores and cluttered workshops are some of the best places to visit to pick up traditional products in Egypt. Here you'll find everything from antiques and gorgeous metal lampshades to locally woven textiles. While here, stop in at Cairo's most famous coffee shop, Fishawi's, where syrupy Arabic coffee and sweet tea are dished out to tourists and local merchants alike at a rapid-fire pace. For shoppers, the main souk road is Al-Muski Street, called Gawar al-Qaid Street at its eastern end. The gold and silver workshops mostly congregate just north of this street's intersection with Al-Muizliddin Allah Street, while the spice market section is just to the south. The market is hemmed in on its eastern side by the Sayyidina el-Hassan Mosque, built in 1792 to honour the Prophet Muhammad's grandson. The easiest entry to the Khan el-Khalili area is from Al-Azhar Street, directly across the road from Al-Azhar Mosque. And now at number 6, view the royal mummies at NMEC. Unlike many of Cairo's other major museums, which all concentrate their exhibits on one specific era, the National Museum of Egyptian Civilizations, the NMEC, is dedicated to telling the entire story of Egypt's human history under one roof. The museum partially opened in 2017 and has been slowly building up its exhibits. Its star attraction arrived in April 2020 when the Royal Mummies collection found its new permanent home here. Although the museum's full collection is in no way yet complete, this is where you now come to view Egypt's most famous pharaonic mummies. Ramses II and III, Hatshepsut, Amenhotep I and Seti I and II are among the hugely familiar names of 22 mummies that are displayed in a specially designed Royal Mummies Gallery. NMEC is in Fustat and is easily combined with a visit to Old Cairo, Coptic Cairo. The museum is a straightforward 3-kilometre walk from Coptic Cairo's churches or a short taxi ride. At 5, spend time exploring Saqqara and Dahshur. The vast necropolis of Saqqara and the nearby site of Dahshur are home to the other pyramids, and a day trip out here is just as rewarding as a trip to Giza's pyramids. The sites are roughly 30 kilometers south of Cairo. The Step Pyramid is Saqqara's most popular tourist attraction, but the entire area is littered with gorgeously painted tombs, which are well worth spending a few hours exploring. Of particular note, don't miss the Serapeum, where the mummies of the sacred Apis bulls were interred, and the Mastaba of Tea, with its colourful and highly detailed painted walls. Saqqara is so large and its history as a burial site so vast that excavations here continue to unearth finds that make headline-grabbing news worldwide. Just down the road is Dahshur's Red Pyramid and Bent Pyramid, which shouldn't be missed. Expect even the shortest itinerary here to take at least half a day. At 4, explore Coptic history in Old Cairo, or Coptic Cairo. This small church-filled cluster of twisty laneways lies within the walls of Old Babylon, where the Roman Emperor Trajan first built a fortress along the Nile. Parts of the Roman towers still preside over the main street. The Coptic Museum here contains a wealth of information on Egypt's early Christian period and is home to one of Egypt's finest collections of Coptic art. Next door, the 9th century Hanging Church contains some beautiful examples of Coptic architecture. Founded in the 4th century, the church was originally built over the Roman Gate Towers, hence the name, and was substantially rebuilt during the 9th century. For many Christian travellers, though, the real highlight of a visit to this district is the Church of St. Sergius and Bacchus, where local legend says the Virgin Mary, baby Jesus and family sheltered during King Herod's massacre of male babies. Farther into the quarter, you come to the Ben Ezra Synagogue, which is said to be built near the spot where the baby Moses was found in the reeds. Just outside the quarter, you can also visit the Mosque of Amr ibn al-Nas, the first mosque built in Egypt. Coptic Cairo is easiest reached by taking the Cairo Metro to Margigis station. Now at 3, admire Al-Azhar Mosque. Al-Azhar Mosque is the finest building of Cairo's Fatimid era and one of the city's earliest surviving mosques, completed in 972 CE. It's also one of the world's oldest universities. Caliph El-Aziz bestowed it with the status of university in 988 CE. The other university vying for oldest status is in Fez. And today, Al-Azhar University is still the leading theological center of the Islamic world. The main entrance is the Gate of the Barbers on the northwest side of the building, adjoining the Neo-Arab facade built by Abbas II. Leave your shoes at the entrance and walk into the central courtyard. To your right is the El-Tayyib Arsia Medrese, which has a mihrab, prayer niche, dating from 1309. From the central courtyard, you get the best views of the mosque's fine minarets, which cap the building. Across the courtyard is the main prayer hall, spanning a vast 3,000 square meters. The front half is part of the original building, while the rear half was added by Abd el-Rahman. Al-Azhar Mosque is right in the heart of the Islamic Cairo district and easy to reach by taxi. Al-Azhar Street runs east from Midan Ataba in the downtown area right to the square where the mosque sits. Now at number 2, see one of the world's great collections in the Egyptian Museum. The absolutely staggering collection of antiquities displayed in Cairo's Egyptian Museum makes it one of the world's great museums. You would need a lifetime to properly see everything on show. The museum was founded in 1857 by French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette and moved to its current home in the distinctive powder pink mansion in downtown Cairo in 1897. Yes, the collection is poorly labelled and not well set out due to limits of space. It also currently suffers with some empty cases due to artifacts having already been transferred to the as yet unopened new Grand Egyptian Museum, but you still can't help being impressed by the sheer majesty of the exhibits. When the GEM opens, this iconic building is slated to still be used as a museum, but it is uncertain which collections it will hold. The museum's major displays, including the Tutankhamun galleries, which will form the highlight exhibition within the new GEM, are all definitely being moved. Meanwhile, in April 2020, the Egyptian Museum's Royal Mummies collection was transferred to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilizations to further share out the vast amount of Egypt's pharaonic riches between Cairo's museums. If you're pressed for time, make a beeline straight for the Tutankhamun galleries. The treasures displayed here were all found in the tomb of Tutankhamun, son-in-law and successor of Amenophis IV, who died at the age of 18. The tomb, discovered by Howard Carter in the Valley of the Kings in 1922, contained the largest and richest assemblage of grave goods ever found intact in an Egyptian tomb. Highlights include Tutankhamun's death mask and sarcophagi, the pharaoh's lion throne, and his fascinating wardrobe collection. Afterwards, don't miss a wander through the Egyptian jewelry collection, which contains more bling than you'll ever see again in one lifetime. The Egyptian Museum sits right beside Midan Tahrir, the central square of downtown Cairo. The easiest way to arrive here is to take the Cairo Metro to Sadat Station and follow the exit signs to the museum. And finally, at number 1, marvel at the Pyramids of Giza. The Pyramids of Giza are Cairo's number 1 half-day trip and the top thing to do on everyone's itinerary. Right on the edge of the city, in the Giza Plateau, these 4th dynasty funerary temples have been wowing travellers for centuries and continue to be one of Egypt's major highlights. Despite the heat, the dust and the tourist hustle, you can't miss a trip here. The Pyramid of Cheops is the largest pyramid of the Giza group, and its interior of narrow passages can be explored, although there isn't much to see, except a plain tomb chamber with an empty sarcophagus. Farther south on the plateau is the Pyramid of Chephren, with an internal tunnel area which can be entered, and the smaller Pyramid of Mycerinus. Guarding these mortuary temples is the lion-bodied and pharaoh-faced Sphinx, one of the ancient world's iconic monuments. The Giza Plateau is set to welcome another attraction when the Grand Egyptian Museum is finally finished. When opened, it will be the biggest museum in the world devoted to exhibiting the antiquities of a single civilization, displaying a wealth of ancient Egypt's artifacts, many of which have never been seen by the public before. The solar boat, which used to be displayed in a museum directly behind the Great Pyramid, has recently been moved to the GEM in readiness for the opening. After a stop-start construction beset with financial difficulties, the museum opening date has been set for late 2022. The Pyramid Plateau is on the edge of Giza's suburban sprawl, roughly 13 kilometers southwest of the central city. Most people arrive by taxi, but it's also accessible by an easier-than-you-think combo of taking the metro to Giza and then hopping on a local minibus that drops you outside the entrance. As the area around the pyramids of Giza is quite sprawling, many travellers elect to see the area by tour, often incorporating a camel or horse ride. A good option for first-time visitors is a private half-day trip to the Giza pyramids with camel riding. This includes pick-up and drop-off at your hotel, a guide, lunch and 25 minutes on a camel. That's if you don't fall off first. And there you have the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Cairo. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic travel guides. Check out more videos on Africa in our African Travel Guide playlist. That's all for now. Until next time.